Welcome to this comprehensive and enriching Certified Ethical Hacker CHE V12 training. Today, we will cover a key topic for CHE certification: how to use Nmap for network analysis.
Let's do some advanced Nmap scanning. I have two VMs running. I have Kali Linux, and I've logged on as just the regular user Kali, and I opened a terminal. I also have Server 2016. I logged on as the administrator. The first thing I want to do is just double check the IP address of Server 2016. So we'll just go to Start, and we'll open a command prompt and type ipconfig. Press Enter. Scroll back a little bit. Okay, 192.168.252.137. Going to Kali, can we ping that address? Ping 192.168.252.137. Yours, of course, is different. Press Enter, and yes, we're getting replies. Control-C, that's good. Now, let's go back to Server 2016, and let's raise the firewall. Let's turn it on, because the firewall is off, or at least mine is. So I'm just going to go to Start again, go to Control Panel. I'm in Large Icons view here. Go down to the Windows Firewall, click that. I can see that it's off for both the public and private profiles. I'm going to turn it on. And I'm going to turn it on for both profiles so I don't get messed up. Click OK. At this point, I don't really need to interact with Server 2016 anymore. We're just going to see what we can do. We're going to scan it using Nmap from Kali. I'm going to go over to Kali, and I'm going to clear. Enter. If you just type Nmap and you do a default 1,000 most popular ports, and you're just a normal user like Kali, it will do a full scan, a full connect, a full TCP three-way handshake scan. You know what we're going to do? Just to prove a point, we're going to launch Wireshark so we can double check what's going on. We'll just come up to Applications, and we should find it in Sniffing and Spoofing, and just launch Wireshark. Kind of big, let me resize it. Okay. And we're not doing anything on Bluetooth. I think we will work on Ethernet 0. Double-click it. Okay. It is starting to pick up stuff. Let's do just a default full connect scan here, and then we'll see what happens in Wireshark. So I'm just going to type Nmap and just put in the target, 192.168.252.137. It's going to do a full handshake on the 1,000 most popular ports. Press Enter. Give it just a moment. Oh, I can see some action going on already. Okay. It did find these ports open. Terrific. Let's come over to Wireshark and just take a look. Now you can see all this TCP here, and you can see that it's all coming from Kali, and it's going to Server 2016. And if we scroll over just a tad, we can see that it's trying SYN scans, but there's no SYN ACK just yet. It's trying to scan these popular ports in random order. And I see that it's even choosing random source ports as well. We could just scroll up to find SYN ACKs, but we could also do a display filter here. We could up in the display filter, type tcp.ack. You see that right there? tcp.ack. Pick that, and then apply it. Go. That will find for us complete handshakes. See that? On some random client port, 44566, to port 80, I try the three-way handshake SYN, and then I'm also trying another one to 443. So 80 SYN, then notice that 80 is coming back with a SYN ACK, and then I do an ACK, and then I say reset, I'm not interested in talking any longer. So that would be just a normal, non-root scan. Let's try a SYN scan where we don't even bother completing the handshake. There's no ACK. We'll just reset. So I'm going to start again. I'm not going to save. Continue without saving. And I'm going to take this filter off for right now. I'm going to come over to Kali and I'm going to clear. And this time, because I'm not logged in as root, so I have to say sudo nmap, type scan SYN, small s cap s, and then the target, 192.168.252.137, hit it. The password for Kali is Kali, hit it. And now it's going, and we can see some red over here and some stuff happened. And of course we get the same ports that are open, but we did it differently. Let's stop. And let's apply the filter. We're looking for ACK. So this is tcp.ack. Let's just apply that. You can just either come way over here and click the little blue arrow, or you can just press enter. I'm going to press enter. So when I go down here, let me just scroll over a bit here. I see something right off the bat. I see a reset for 3389, which means that we did have a SYN ACK. And if I look up a little bit, sure enough, here's me on port 37225 trying to go to the RDP port of my target, 3389, and I say SYN, and I'm trying some others real quick too. But then just not too far down the line, 3389 comes back to me and says SYN ACK. And I say, just kidding, reset. And let's see, do the same thing for port 110. Where do we see 110? Oh, there's the SYN for 110. There'd better be a SYN ACK for 110. Yep, here's the SYN ACK for 110, 110 coming back. And just kidding, reset. We also have 587 like that too. Do I see a SYN for 587? Oh, there it is. That's me going to the target's 587, SYN, and the target 587 coming back to me, SYN ACK. Just kidding. So that is a stealth scan, a SYN scan. Let's now try doing a fast scan. Now it's fast not because we go faster, but because we just scan fewer ports. I think instead of the top 1,000, I think it's just the top 100. Let me clear this little filter. Let me start again. Continue without saving. And let me come over here to clear. And this time I'm going to nmap tac cap f and the target 192.168.252.137. Enter. It went quicker. It still found these open ports here, but it went faster because it didn't scan 1,000 ports, it scanned 100 ports. Let's come over to Wireshark, stop the capture, and let's look for that SYN ACK, tcp.ack, enter. Here is us to them on 60944. That's us using client port 60944, going to their 80. Now let me just scroll over so we can just see. Okay, here it is way at the top. Here's us on 60944 trying to start a handshake with 80 SYN. And 80 comes back to us with SYN ACK. And we act back. And then we say, we're just kidding. So we didn't do this, the fast scan. We didn't do this as just a stealth fast scan. It was like a full connect fast scan. What if we were to do a stealth scan, a SYN scan with the fast switch? We could try that. Let's clear this filter, start a new scan, don't save anything. Let's nmap tac ss tac f. See if we can do that. Target 192.168.252.137. Hit it. Oh, and it says you need root privilege. Know what we forgot to do? We forgot to say sudo. Okay, sudo nmap tac ss tac f 192.168.252.137. Hit it. Okay. And that was quite quick because it didn't even bother completing the handshake. Stop. Let's just search for ACKs real quick. Let's tcp.ack, press enter, and here's 80, where we at 54298 do a SYN to their port 80. They come back to us with a SYN ACK, and we say, haha, just kidding. So doing the SYN scan, the stealth scan, the half-open scan, with the TAC-F fast was even quicker. All right. Now we could try some funky scans like a null scan or an ACK scan. These are things that we would test out a firewall with, and when we get to the firewall module, we'll play with that a whole bunch more. Why don't we try that? Let's just continue, and let's clear. Let's try a null scan. Let's sudo, because the null scan is going to require it. Nmap tac syn n, n for null, target 192.168.252.137, enter. We don't have to provide the Kali password this time because we just did it recently in this same session, same terminal. So it's going along and it's going through all 1,000 with null. So give it just a moment, and when it's done, we will take a look. Okay, all 1,000 scan ports are ignored. They're either open or they're filtered, but we get no response. We can stop here and we can just see. You'll see that we're sending to these ports, and we even redo some of these ports, but there's no response back. Let's just see what happens. Let's just peel open one of these. Double click it, and looking over here, just opening TCP, I can see if I scroll down here that I have no flags raised. Look at this. Expand this. No flags whatsoever raised. Now that is completely illegal, but sometimes you can pull that off with certain kinds of firewalls. All right, that didn't work so well, but we saw how it goes. What about if we were to do an ACK scan? Let's clear this filter. Everything is an ACK, just ACK. We're not trying to handshake, we're just ACKing. You know, the packet filtering firewalls, the ones that are just static, that are stateless, they'll think that, oh, an ACK flag is raised. That means you're in the middle of a session. Come on in. All right, let's just clear this. Let's sudo nmap tac scan a, ACK scan, and let's just do a fast one. We'll do a shorter number, just 100 of these, to 192.168.252.137, go. And it says, well, we scanned all 100 here, and they are ignored. So the firewall on Server 2016 doesn't fall for ACK scans. But you know, Windows firewalls these days are stateful anyway. So they would say, you never did a handshake, forget you. Let's come over here and stop the scan. And let's do a filter here for TCP. Oh, if we do ACK, they're all going to be ACK, right? They're all going to be ACK. Well, okay. But as we go along here, let me just scroll over. You can just see all ACKs. No SYN, nothing. If we just pop one open, any of these, like 443, let's double click that one. And I'm just going to expand this a little bit better. See TCP, we're going to port 443. Scroll down a bit. The ACK flag is raised here. No others. Okay. How about if we do a Christmas scan? That would be a SX. All right, let's clear this. Let's start a new capture. Let's come over to Kali. Let's clear it. And let's sudo nmap tac sx. And let's make it fast, TAC-F, 192.168.252.137, go. This one's going to definitely have some weird flags. And it says these are in an ignored state as well. Yeah, there aren't too many firewalls that fall for a Christmas scan. scan anymore. Let's come over and stop the capture. And let's scroll over just a tad here. And look at this. These are all with fin, push, and urge raised. We've just like open up one of these. Like I was trying to get to 1900, which is what? The UPnP, the Universal Plug and Play port. Let's double click and look at that one. Just kind of drag this down here. Look at the flags. Oh, how weird. Fin, push, urge. There's urge, push, and fin. You don't push something and say it's urgent and also try to stop your session at the same time. Too weird. All right, so that's those. Let's try some timing scans. Now I have to warn you, if we were to sudo nmap and we were to do a tact 0, that's 5 minutes in between each port. I don't think we want to wait that long even for just a few ports. So why don't we instead do, first of all, just the normal one. Now, tact 3 is the default. That's normal. This will go at the same speed we're used to. So I'm just going to do the full 1000 ports so we can see some differences. 192.168.252.137. We're looking at timing. Press enter. It will do the normal speed to go through all 1000 ports. All right, just a few seconds. Now what if we went to the insane speed? T5. That's the fastest. In fact, that's so fast, it'll probably become unstable. But hey, I'm willing to try. Let's just up arrow here. And we're going to change it to 5. So with a feel for how long normal is, how about insanely fast as it goes? Hit it. Yep, that was quicker. So that is using Nmap Advanced Scans. We'll come back to Nmap and do some even more crazy stuff when we study firewalls in the Firewall IDS and Honeypot module. Before you end this activity, be sure to go into Server 2016 and turn off the firewall for all profiles. Go into the control panel, go down to Windows Firewall, open that up, go to turn Windows Firewall on or off, and turn it off on all profiles and click OK. And with that, we are ready to move on.
And here we are. We have reached the end of this extremely interesting video. I hope you enjoyed it and that it helped you discover how to use Nmap for network analysis. If you haven't already, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe and share the video on your social networks. It really helps me to continue creating interesting and free content. There are many free courses and content, so don't hesitate to join us at mid-learning.com.